What is happening, guys? Mike here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a very special episode for you. I'm trying to make this a little bit lower key than my usual reviews because I just got this on Friday and I've only I used it for the first time in this video, so it's not going to be as in-depth as my regular reviews. I didn't take as much time to produce it. I actually just threw it in my hair and then I turned on the camera after I did it, and I'm going to offer you guys my first initial thoughts on this product. And another reason why I'm doing that, obviously we're talking about the devil here from the Lockharts, which now that I'm saying that out loud sounds a little bit odd, but it's the tarot collab between the Lockharts and Jinx, which is a band, I guess. I've never heard of them, but we are talking about this product, and I didn't think that this one really needed a super in-depth review because it's a pretty straightforward product, but I know you guys were interested in it, and I definitely thought it was worth a review because when I first saw it, when I first saw the announcement, I probably had the same thought that you guys did, which is, how does this compare to Enigma? You guys know I hate comparisons, but every so often we do come across a legitimate comparison question, and I did think that this one made sense. And so that's kind of what my review is going to be centered around, is what this is and really how it differs or compares to Enigma, and of course how it works. But first, of course, let's get a closer look at this product in case you have not seen or heard of it yet, in case you didn't see any of the postings or anything like that before it came out. What we have here is the latest release from the Lockharts Tarot series, which, if you remember, is a collaboration between them and various brands. I mean, we've had Sheer Revival, we've had Templeton Tonics, Nostalgic, Pomp's Not Dead, and this one now is with them and Jinx, which is a band. And really, that's the beginning of where this differs from all the other products, because one, it's a band and not a brewer, so that makes it different, and two, the formulating, everything this time was done by Steve or the Lockharts team, which is different because the other tarots were actually formulated by the brewers that they collaborated with. So for example, the Nostalgic Grooming Tarot was completely formulated, and actually it's produced by Nostalgic. This one here, though, was formulated and it's produced by the Lockharts team. And honestly, I don't know much about this band. I've never heard of them or listened to their music, but I'm told that their part of the collaboration has to do with the fragrance. So I'm not sure if that's how that's associated with the band, but I'm told the collaborative portion with this one with the band has to do with the fragrance. So that's that. But what this is, according to the brand, of course, is a water-based volumizing cream that features what they call a 4 out of 5 hold strength or firm. It also features what they describe as 4 out of 5 for hold strength or firm, a 3.5 out of 5 score for volume, a full 5 out of 5 for texture, and a 0.5 out of 5 score for shine, and a 0.5 out of 5 score for shine, which they also label as matte. Now, as far as packaging goes, it's a purple bottle, which falls directly in line with the tarot series. I love this purple bottle. And then, of course, it's got the tarot card label, which this one they chose is the devil. And if you're not familiar with how they're doing this, I've talked with Steve at great length about this. It's actually very cool. I'm not a personal believer in any of this stuff like tarot cards or anything like that, but I do kind of like the idea of what they're doing here. What Steve is doing, which Steve is really into tarot cards and occult themes and things like that. And what he's doing is he's either, I believe either they are choosing the card or he's choosing the card that he feels best represents either the collaborator or the project. So I'm not totally sure how the devil relates to all of this, but that's the one they chose, and that's the card they have on the front. And of course, they also have the cards like they've made for every other product in this series. So they have the card here, but inside the bottle here, we have something that looks very similar, as you can imagine, to the Enigma. I actually think this one's a little bit lighter in color than the Enigma, just a little bit, but either way, it looks very similar. It's a pump bottle, just like the Enigma is. It comes out very easily. I didn't actually have any bit of a hard time getting this one to come out of the pump bottle. I had barely had to pump it to get it to start pumping out. I know sometimes with these pumps, they can become clogged and hard to actually get your substance out for the first couple of pumps, but this one actually just took 2 or 3 pumps, came right out. I do think that this one is a little bit lighter in consistency than Enigma, and so for when you actually pump, do one full pump on this one, because it's a little bit liquidier, creamier, it comes out in a larger quantity. So just be aware of that. I do feel like it for sure comes out in a larger quantity. One pump is actually, you'll see in the demo, one pump is quite a bit of product, because I do think this one's a little bit creamier than Enigma. But when you break it down, the first thing I noticed, this is the very first thing I noticed when I tried it actually just a little bit ago before turning on the camera here, I noticed that it wasn't as dry and it wasn't as sticky as what I was expecting it to be. Because when I first saw this, I actually thought to myself that this has got to be like a more intense Enigma, or like a more powered up version of Enigma. And actually in the hand, it didn't feel like that to me. It actually felt less sticky and less dry, more smooth than Enigma for sure, which is really surprising. I was expecting it to be more sticky, more dry, things like that. So that was the first thing I noticed actually when I got it out of the bottle. But of course, this is a pre-styler, so that's how I'm going to demo that for you guys today. I'm actually going to again show you the very first time. This is the result I'm wearing right now, and I just got this result and then switched on my other camera here so I can give you guys my thoughts. So this is what I saw when I first used it. I'm starting here with damp hair, of course, like normal with a pre-styler. And I'm only adding in one pump because I didn't know what this was going to do. Enigma, if you remember, is very touchy when it comes to how much product you use. It's very easy to overload the hair. So I wanted to just start with one pump. If it didn't work, I would just wash it out and retry it again anyway. But this did actually work pretty well, as you're about to see. It worked into my hair very easy. Again, it's not as dry, not as sticky as Enigma, so it's very easy to actually get into your hair. After that, there's really not much to say. You got to blow dry it, and I didn't want to like waste a bunch of time with you watching me blow dry, so let me just cut to the result that I got, and here it is right here. I will say right off the bat that I was expecting a little bit more volume. I gotta just throw that out there, because it's very obvious as you look at my hair. It doesn't have as much volume as I was expecting, and that right there is going to come into play later on in our conversation. But when I first tried it, I was kind of expecting a little more volume. What I also noticed right off the bat is that's kind of not as dry, not as sticky feeling that I had in my hand when I first pumped it out. That absolutely transferred into this result right here. And really, it's just the craziest thing to me, because I was really expecting it to be more dry. I was expecting it to be more sticky, but that's not what I see here. I actually think it's got less hold for one pump than Enigma. I mean, of course, I could have gone in with two pumps there, but I do think it's actually got some things going for it here, so that's why I didn't go in with a second pump. I didn't start over and just use a second pump, because I do think it's got some really nice lightweight hold going on here. And that was something that I thought when I first got this, I thought I'm going to use that to my advantage when I post style, so I'm not going to go in and really mess with that whole dynamic going on there, because it was really lightweight. It was nice and soft. The matte finish was set in right away, which was really nice. Texture was there. It was controlling my hair. I don't need a ton of hold, by the way. I don't need everything to be like a super firm, heavy, extreme hold. This was just fine and really adequate for what I need as far as hold goes, because I am going to post style with it too. So that's something you need to keep in mind. You don't want to overdo it in the pre-styling stage. And speaking of post styling, what I post styled with was Nevermore. This was something that just recently came back. This is my collab with the Lockharts, and if you guys saw, this just came back. It was gone for a little bit because Steve was doing some stuff with the scent. We had to go with a new route with the scent. It's the same scent, it's just been tweaked a little bit. And so it did come back, and I wanted to post style with that because I thought to myself, this is this right here, the Devil is super lightweight. It's got a nice, finish going on there. It's not super dry. I really want to see how it works alongside a little bit of a drier post styler. And as you can see here, I'm adding it into my hair right now. It actually made the Nevermore feel like a totally different product to me. It applied to my hair with an ease that I've never had before with Nevermore, which is a little bit dry. It's not as dry as Anti-Gravity, of course, but it is still pretty dry. But this actually went through my hair like it had no dryness whatsoever. The Nevermore has never applied that easy for me, which is really awesome. It also stuck to the hair very nicely, which which allowed making a shape even easier than it usually is with this product. So I think the end result came out really awesome. It allowed me to do exactly what I love to do, which is polish, use my comb in some areas, kind of polish it up, but then finger comb the front to get some nice loose texture, but still maintain that hold so it doesn't fall. I think it worked out really well, and I'm very surprised actually at how well this combination worked together. It was super awesome. And so I was just really pleased with that. But we do need to talk about one other thing here real quick, and that's the sun. This right here is they released, they're releasing taros like crazy over there, but this one here is a brand that I'm personally familiar with, Cellar Door. I shot behind the brew with them. They're the only soap company I've ever shot with, and I love this brand. I mean, go back and watch that video if you haven't watched it recently. I've watched it a couple times myself just because I just really loved that shoot. They are just one of the most creative companies that I've ever seen. I mean, I love the way that their soaps come out. What I specifically love about their soaps is that they look so great that you don't even want to use them. I mean, you really, you don't even want to unwrap this. I mean, I still have a bar of the Nevermore soap, actually. I have a couple bars of theirs that I use some of them because they smell amazing, obviously, but there's a couple that I just saved just because they look so nice on a shelf. So this one is no different. I didn't unwrap it and didn't use it because I just want to keep it, and it smells. This right here, oh my gosh, this is dark patchouli, black anise. How do you say? I don't know how to say that, but it's got blood orange in it too, which I'm a huge fan of citrus and blood orange specifically. It's this right here. So this right here is top 3 taro scents right here. This one is probably number 2 in my top 3 taro scents. This one here being number 3. The first one, I'd have to say the first scent that I love, my number 1 scent in the taro line would be Nostalgic Still. Their scent was just off the charts, but this one's number 2. This one is runner-up for sure, and then I think I like this one as well, but it's a little strong for me, so I'm gonna put it in the number 3 category. But moving back over to the Devil here, there is a couple main things that I think separates this completely from Enigma and makes it its own product, and that has to do with its presentation and its styling ability. Its presentation is lighter, both in consistency and in the hair. It's got great hold. I'm not saying the hold, though the hold is a little bit lighter than Enigma if you add it all up, but I do think this one has nice hold, adequate hold, really good hold. Enigma's got more. I'll be honest about that. Enigma absolutely has more. However, this one is lighter weight in the hair. Absolutely lighter weight. It actually makes your hair feel a little softer. It's got a nice amount of kaolin in it, I'm assuming anyway, because kaolin is super high up on the ingredients list. So it's got, and kaolin's a nice soft powdery clay, so it makes your hair feel really nice. And I think that's also where you get some of that volume from. But speaking of that volume, I didn't personally get a whole lot of it. So that's going to be one of my pieces of criticism here actually, is I didn't get a ton of volume from it. My hair was a little bit too heavy for that volume to occur, I think, but that brings me to my next point. That brings me to my main point that I wanted to make, the point from the title. I think this is going to be fantastic for fine hair. And like the title of this video suggests, I think the Devil is a guardian angel for thin or fine hair. I mean, it doesn't take over completely when it enters the hair. It remains really lightweight, really pliable, and that makes for a fantastic product for thin or fine-haired folks, because you guys with thin or fine hair, you need something that's going to work with it and not overpower it. And I think that's exactly what we have here with this one. And that makes it extremely different from Enigma. If you think about it, Enigma is more dry. It's more sticky. You also have to be very specific when you use it, or it'll really overpower. Even my thick hair, it'll overpower it. This one here, I could use a nice big pump of it. I could have even probably used 2 pumps of this, and I feel like it's much more user-friendly. Now, that being said though, I said something similar about Blackwater, right? That it was more user-friendly than Enigma, and that's probably what a lot of you are going to ask. Most of you probably will skip this part of the video and just ask in the comment section, but for those of you that are going to watch this video like you should, Blackwater, how I think that compares to this one, super easy. Super easy. Blackwater, more hold. Absolutely more hold. Also, it's a little bit drier. So really, I think this one is lighter than even Blackwater. Lighter in hold, lighter in volume, lighter in texture, lighter in weight. I mean, I pretty much think that this is much lighter than both of the products. So that is the main theme that I'm getting at here. It's just a lot lighter, and that's what you can expect if you do try this out. And that's pretty much my thoughts. I think this one here, it's pretty well done. As far as the tarots go, this one might be my favorite from the tarot sessions so far. I mean, we know that the other ones had a little bit of trouble with hold. So this one here, it definitely didn't have any trouble with hold. I mean, if I was using this by itself, like as a post styler, I would say the hold probably is a little bit too light for my thick hair. But since it's a pre-styler, it's right in that sweet spot where you want it to be, because you don't want it to overpower and you want it to work with that post styler. So I definitely think that this one was very well made. Again, the criticism for me lies in that volume. It's a little low for me. I would have liked it to have a little more volume for my hair, but on the other side, though, I think you guys with thin, fine, straight hair, you're going to find a lot of success with this one. If you would like to check out the Devil or the Sun here, I will put links in the description there. I want to thank Steve and Team Lockharts for sending that out to me. I also want to thank you guys for checking out this video. I really hope you found it helpful. If you did, make sure you drop me a like there and a comment down below with what you thought of this review. If you have not yet, I want to ask you to subscribe to the channel. Please make sure you do that. That's a huge help to me. It really helps keep things going, keep things moving forward. So if you have not done that, you just absolutely need to do it at this point. Thank you once again for stopping by the channel today and checking out this video. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.